Hey guys, my name is Anastasia and I'm reviewing Sarah Thornton's 7 Days in the Art World today. I read 7 Days in the Art World in 7 days. Sarah Thornton took me on a wild, chaotic, and fast-paced adventure in an around-the-world-in-80 days fashion to show me the interior workings of the upper-level art world. Granted, I realized that I, specifically, was not her intended audience, but I really did feel like she was talking to me and just telling me and how these inner workings of the art world worked. I loved the book. It was super easy to read and read more like an adventure novel than a nonfiction book report. I would definitely recommend this to anyone looking to read something about which they are not familiar with, or if they're just curious about the more inner and upper workings of the art world. She travels from New York to California, to Japan, to Italy, back to New York, and to numerous other countries. Thornton is able to get in a behind-the-scenes look at all of the major players and scenes and aspects of the art world, and show just a common reader like me how it all works. What really stood out to me was how she was able to convey all of this so effectively. There were multiple ways that she was able to do this, and I'll focus on a few of those in this review, among other things. The first that I noticed was how different each chapter was in its tone and how it talked. She was able to portray each aspect of the art culture that she researched as if the reader was present, standing right next to her during her adventures. For example, the auction starts the book off with an intense, fast-paced, and adrenaline-inducing night in Christie's, the auction house in New York. Then she segues and slows down into the slow thrum of the Crit, a legendary art critique in the California Institute of the Arts, where students sit with their professor for over 12 hours discussing their art pieces and the meanings behind them. The fair is fast-paced and intense, with everyone rushing to see what they wanted to see. The prize holds the reader in suspense and anticipation to see who will win the Turner Prize, and then blurs into parties and celebrations for the winner at the end. The magazine shows the intense pressure of the deadline, then the drag at the end of the day, the weariness, the tiresome work office. The studio shows the disorganized, but organized at the same time, mind of the artist. The biennial shows the pull of good art and good exhibitions, and the pressure to have connections and to know people. When Thornton does this, she's able to throw the reader into this blur of the art world and make it seem like they're with her. Her approach to viewing is unique. She does not disguise herself or paint herself as a fictional player in the art world. Instead, she used a cat-on-the-prowl approach, quoting that a cat is curious and interactive, but not threatening, occasionally intrusive, but easily ignored. This kind of research is interesting, in that the reader does not have to pretend that they are someone else while reading the story, and are easily pulled into the book. I think it works well for this book. One thing that I did notice, and got me thinking about this book, was how she focused on mainly the commercial side of art. How it is bought, how it is sold, and the money, the immense amount of money poured into the industry. She focuses more on the curators, the dealers, the collectors, than the artists, and little on how art is made, though she does delve into that a little bit in the studio chapter, which leads the reader to question why art is made now. Is it just for monetary gain? Or do artists still create art to express themselves? I think these are important points to raise. The art world is ever-changing, ever-evolving, and the important players change with the times. While artists are, obviously, the most pivotal players, and they always will be, they are not the most influential and important in the top-level art world. Those are the curators, the dealers, the collectors, the ones with the money. These points get the readers thinking more critically about a world that they probably don't have much experience with. This can also be applied to society today. The world is changing and very, very quickly, and there are many, many groups that people are a part of whom we are not familiar with. I think this book can help people see that and realize that they don't know everything. It raises questions about making assumptions about a specific subculture that are relevant to our society today. This book is excellent, and I would encourage anyone to read it. It ends with a quote from an artist talking about an experience he had at the biennial. He says, "It was bizarre. It was wonderful." And I think that effectively sums up Sarah Thornton's adventure with 7 Days in the Art World.